group? You guys into small groups? So, why is there such a huge gap right here? I need some people to fill this gap in right here. Fill this gap in. All right. So really quick, because I know we don't have that much time. I want to ask you guys, everything that's been going on within this week, how frustrating has it been watching this stuff? Like, has it been pretty frustrating watching and hearing about everything that's been going on within this past week? It's just kind of, for me, growing up, I remember my mom and dad telling me about this stuff as a kid, right? And I remember as a kid, my mom and dad telling me about stuff that happened to them when they were growing up. So for example, I remember my dad, he was a sophomore in high school. He was in Fresno, California. I know a lot of y'all like, I don't know where Fresno is. Sometimes I forget where it's at too. It's in that place in between like the Bay Area and Southern California, that middle part where nobody cares about. Yeah, that part. And like, I remember my dad telling me, it was a sophomore year of high school, and he said he was getting ready for a baseball game. He was the only black kid on the team. And as he was sitting on the chair or on the bench, he was sitting there and he was like, I was going over like plays in my head. I was watching the pictures and everything, right? And he said, I just remember watching, and as I was watching, he said all the guys, they were playing around and, slap boxing each other and all this other stuff. And my dad was just kind of like, okay, I gotta get focused because like at any point in time, they can just sit me down. And so they're cussing and they're laughing and doing all this crazy stuff or whatever. And then one of them comes by and slaps my dad's hat off his head. And my dad is like, yo, you need to chill out. And they're like, oh, Smith, you need to chill out. You're just uptight, blah, blah. My dad's like, nah, like I'm just trying to get focused. Like you guys are playing too much and you guys aren't focusing. Like this is a good team and you guys are gonna miss out. So they're like, whatever. And another one comes by, it was like maybe a couple minutes after, and they slapped my dad's hat off like this. Boom, right? But when they slapped his hat off, they hit his nose. And so my dad gets frustrated and he's like, yo, chill out. But he cussed like in between or whatever, right? Mind you, everybody else was cussing and going crazy, right? The coach looks down the line and says, who just cussed right now? And my dad looks and he was like, they've been dropping F-bombs for the past 10 minutes. What do you mean, who just cussed? Everybody looks around, he goes, Smith, I know that was you. He was like, get off of my team. We don't allow that here. And my dad looked and he said, are you serious right now? He was like, all these dudes have been cussing up a storm and been playing around and not paying attention and they come late, like I'm on time, I handle my business. Are you kidding me? And he was like, if you want to keep going, I will call the police and have you removed. I need you to leave my field right now. And my dad went home and cried, and he told my grandfather. And he told my grandfather, he's from Texas. And you gotta remember, at that time, when he was growing up, it was really rough for black people at that time. So for him to jump up and say something against a white man was not logical in his brain. It was like, well, he made his decision, son, I'm sorry. Didn't go up there and fight for my dad, nothing. So imagine how crushed my dad was, right? And I remember my dad telling me this. He said, son, let me help you understand something. He said, if you are ever treated unfairly, I will always have your back. He said, understand this. He was like, I never want you to feel the way I feel. And I always remember that. I ain't gonna front, I kind of took advantage of it sometimes. I'm like, they don't like me, Dad, go get them. You know how you have that mentality as a little kid when you're like, my dad can beat your dad up. And then when you get to be an adult and you realize how small your dad is, you're like, yeah, my dad can beat up some people. There's a limit to this. There's a limit to these fights. But one thing that I know that a lot of people are just really trying to figure out is God, what about them? God, why do they get to get away with some of this stuff? Why do they get to feel like they don't, have to feel the way we feel? And I know some people just man, God, I really, help me understand these things. Help me understand why this injustice is going on right now. So I want everybody to go to Ecclesiastes 5 right now. Go to Ecclesiastes 5. I want everybody to pull their phones out. Go to Ecclesiastes 5 if you have your Bible, Ecclesiastes 5. You know what we're going to start doing? Every time you bring your actual Bible, we're just going to have like some donuts or something. We're just going to give them to the people who bring their actual Bible. Not your phone, but your Bible, like the paperback boy, this right here. You're going to start getting donuts and you're going to start getting gift cards to like get clothes for school. Why is there so much feedback? All right. So Ecclesiastes 5:8 says this. If you see the oppression of the poor and the violent the perversion of justice and the righteousness in the provisions, do not marvel at the matter, for high officials watches over high officials, and a higher official are over them. Now listen. See, this is what I think most of us fail to realize. We get so consumed with what the media will like consume us with. And we forget to get back focused on Christ and knowing that he's completely in control and knowing that he's watching everything. And if you think that I'm lying, just go to Genesis 8:9 with Noah. When Noah was around, you gotta remember, Noah's name meant peace and bringing restoration to the nation, right? But you gotta remember, for hundreds of years, Noah was literally telling them, love Jesus, bro, love Jesus, you gotta repent. Look, I have a safe home. I have a safe house. I'm building it right now. Love Jesus. And they were like, man, get out of here. For 100+ years, he was telling them, repent and love Jesus. And what's funny is if you go into Genesis 8, Genesis 9, or Genesis 8, it literally says these words. It says that these people, it says violence and dismay was around the world. So what's going on right now is not something new. It's just remixed. Like we look at it and we just say like, why is all this stuff happening? Look at Genesis 8 and talk to Noah about it. And think about how much that grieved him. Because the Bible also says in Genesis 8, that's the first time we ever hear God say, what you were doing, it grieved him. You know it takes time to actually grieve? Like think about somebody that you may have lost or something that made you really sad and how long you cried for. Whether it was that day, that week, that month. Like it takes time to cry, right? What if God was like, I don't care about this. Like, you know what? I'm just going to destroy everybody anyways. But he still grieved. Why? Because he's that loving. It also says that he was like, man, I wish I would have never created you. Like, think about that. This is the time where I was ashamed. I was ashamed I created you. Why? Because you're disobedient to what I'm saying. I'm ashamed of what's going on right now. So understand, God is ashamed about what's going on right now. The things that is going on right now, he's grieved by these things. But the Bible also says that vengeance is mine. He also says that I chasten those that I love. So understand, like, he loves you. And if you think about it, when Abram was going to Sodom, or when Lot was going to Sodom and Gomorrah, he went to Sodom and Gomorrah and he was like, okay, God, if I could just find 6. What? One person that loved Jesus? No. He was like, if you just find one, then I'll spare it. Think about how many of people who actually genuinely love Jesus are standing in the gap of the wrath of God for us. The fact that we are actually true believers, we have the real answer. Everything that's going on shouldn't scare us. It should actually make us excited because that means that there's a revival coming. That means that the things that we're doing right now, you can't stop and say, well, I'm going to be scared because I don't want people to persecute me. You're going to get persecuted regardless. So I would much rather be persecuted for a cause that's going to change something. But for me to just stand still and not say anything, I'm just as bad as the people that are doing the recklessness. And so for us as believers, we have to be the ones that are going to stand up and give the answer to the people. because everybody's on the news like, why? What do we do? Why do we have to go through these things? We're going through these things because these are the birth pains of the end days. If you don't love Jesus and you don't know God, then you won't understand that. But if I'm here and I know who God is and God lives within me, then that lets me know that I can go ahead and touch somebody and get them to have peace within what's going on right now. Am I grieved about everything that's going on right now? Absolutely. Am I frustrated with everything that's going on right now? Absolutely. Will there be a plan of action that's about to happen? Absolutely. I can't sit on this podium and have my position and just sit here and just be like, I can't do nothing. That's a lie. I can do something. And best believe there's something in the works. Because I'm not going to sit back and watch you guys continue to go through the fire and anguish and then try to figure out what's going to happen. And then you guys got to come together and try to, well, what are we going to do? We are the leaders. So if we're the leaders, then we are the ones that are going to stand up for you. And Jack can tell you, I'm not the one that's just going to say, I'm going to tell you this, and then nothing's going to happen. I don't rock that way. That's not how I get down. Because I hate when people do that to me. I'm going to be there at your party, bro. And you looking around, you're like, I don't see you. I'll always have your back. I'll always be there for you. You get in the hardest situation, there ain't nobody showing up. That's the worst. And I always promise myself I'm not going to be that guy. Am I 100% on time all the time? No, like I'm human. Things happen. But I guarantee you my character and integrity will allow you to give grace. The last one is this. The last one is in Psalms 43:1. Psalms 43:1. Psalms 43:1 says this. Vindicate me, O God, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. Oh, deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. This is David. And he literally says, vindicate me, O God, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. Oh, deliver me from deceit.